we'll go this guy. I'll trim that out. But yeah, basically I'll start out, we'll just do like the usual like hello, hi stuff. I'll let you introduce yourself and we'll roll from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Okay, hey Cheryl, thanks again for doing this, appreciate it. So Cheryl, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Hello, my name is Cherryl Astley. I'm in my mid-30s. Not going to mention the exact age. I'm currently a product manager working in tech. And, I reached out to Matt through my husband, who he's worked with before, and got a lot of results. And I was really impressed with the techs that he was, doing right in our garage. And so I figured, hey, I should try out this program.
Yeah, definitely. And Matt, your husband had made some, like you said, pretty good progress on the strength.
Pretty good.
A little bit more on the powerlifting side of things. And with yourself, our focuses were a little bit different with the training goals, given your experience with strength training and stuff. What problems were you having before we'd started working together?
Consistency and routine. I got bored a lot. So, prior to working with you, I was mostly doing running. My schedule was really unpredictable at that time. I was in between, moving from one job to the other. So I just started my new job. And part of it is, I knew what to do. I knew, what core muscles to focus on, but I wasn't challenged by it because, I've done it for several years. I wasn't seeing the right gains, and I felt stuck. And so, I felt like there was something that I needed help with. And that's, not only I wanted to focus on also training with, weightlifting on top of cardio. And so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, one of the big issues that you'd had as well was, like you'd mentioned, that lack of structure, lack of consistency with strength training.
Yep.
And part of it you'd mentioned as well is just simply, you felt like you just simply enjoyed the running and cardio side of things a little bit more, to where if you had a stressful day or something came up and you're just not going to sit down and think about something, or you just want to go enjoy yourself for 30 minutes or an hour, you'd go for a run. And the weightlifting didn't really find its way into that picture at all, right?
It did not at the moment. Yep.
Yeah. So when we started working together, one of the big things that we identified, and I found this often, is you've got a very inquisitive mind. You really like learning about a lot of the things that we're doing and kind of understanding the why, as opposed to here's a program, do the reps, and I'll talk to you in a week. And so we really focused on building a lot of the education behind, okay, here's the techniques you want to focus on, and here's why we're doing what we're doing. And we bundled that with the resource videos we had with the Momentum program. And I'd say as a whole, that seemed to keep you a lot more engaged with the program, where you were honestly pretty consistent.
Yes, definitely more engaged. Definitely, I felt really challenged. I was also going through fertility treatments, and so you would modify my workout based on the treatment I'm having within that 2 weeks. And I've still felt really challenged by it, whether, the high reps, keeping my heart rate up, and challenged me a bit more. So there was a lot. I wasn't bored, basically. And I was, and I definitely got a lot of gains from it.
Yeah, visually, big progress.
Big, yeah.
Yes, super happy to see just how well everything worked there. And I mean, really the core exercises that we used, we maybe used 10 exercises or so.
Correct.
As kind of the foundation for the training program, with some small variations here and there. But a lot of the, like you said, the way that you stayed engaged was just learning about what was going on and refining and kind of honing a craft, as opposed to needing to change the whole workout every 2 weeks or whatever it may be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, and we talked about this a little bit on our last coaching call. One of the things we did with the fertility treatments is we were limited by how much direct ab loading we could go through, as well as how heavy we could go. So we kind of treated that like a higher volume, almost hypertrophy phase, where we did more moderate weights and higher volumes, so more sets and more reps. And then on the weeks where we could push a little bit more, we went a little heavier and worked on primarily focusing on the strength. And so kind of built in almost a periodization, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what were some of the big things that you learned along the way? I mean, you came into this with a very open mind, and my impressions were you learned a lot, but if you were to say top 2 or 3 things you learned from the program.
I think the technique is definitely key. Making sure your form is right, making sure you're breathing in and out. Definitely, I like the science is super important. There was a reason to everything that I did, pushing, pulling, the weights, where I would hold, the weight barbell for certain seconds. I mean, I definitely enjoyed that, rather than just, pulling reps or pushing reps.
Yeah,
it,
totally.
it was that there's a reason to everything, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I can now back that up with science.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
So just really having that structure around like your sets and your reps and your exercises and which days you do what, tempos, rests, all that.
exactly. Yeah, the tempos. That's the word I was missing. The
Yeah.
tempos.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And I fully agree. I think the structure is probably one of the biggest things that benefited you as well is just knowing, hey, at the end of the week, I've got to have these done. I know that this is kind of how I want to space it out my week, and
Hmm.
just helped with that consistency, like you said. So if someone was in a similar situation to yourself where they were finding that they were just really struggling to keep consistent with a training program, and they felt like, this isn't as stimulating as I feel like it could be, um, what would you give them as advice?
Um, I would definitely have them reach out to you if you're available, for sure. Um, but there's a lot of misinformation out there, with social media and the news and everything else. I'm not going to get into that, but really, have to really look into the research and just kind of see what's behind that, what's behind it, what's in the data. And I think that's helpful, because on top of, from working with you, I've also, asked my husband a bunch of like data science questions, and he's like, yeah, definitely, this is how it works. And so I got a really good support system. So maybe, having also a support system or someone to reach out to ask these questions who's on the same, training or mindset as you is helpful.
Totally.
But yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Any final thoughts or anything you'd want to add to that?
Um, Definitely don't give up. I'm not a power lifter. I'm just someone who wants to get fit and healthy. And if you, hit a plateau like me, or can't, kind of move forward to where you want to get to, I mean, there's always help. There's always a support. And, just don't get stuck in that mindset, because, it's not good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perfect. So yeah, I think that's probably a good summary of things. Cheryl, thank you very much for taking the time for the call today. And if you're
Likewise.
watching this, and if you're watching this and you're feeling like you're stuck in your training right now and you're kind of lacking that consistency with your lifts or the structure, definitely reach out. I'd love to get in touch with you and see if my team and I can help. Yeah, Cheryl, thanks again, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
All right.